Christian concept. In Christianity, the devil is a fallen angel who rebelled against God, driven by pride and the desire to be his equal. This act cast him out of heaven, and he became the embodiment of evil, the deceiver of humanity. The Old Testament links the devil to the serpent in Eden, Lucifer, and Leviathan, while Revelation presents him as a dragon waging war against heaven. Lucifer, meaning morning star, comes from Isaiah, where a being is cast down after seeking to rise above God. In the New Testament, the devil tempts Jesus and is said to influence earthly powers. Paul warns he can disguise himself as an angel of light, while Peter calls him a prowling lion. He's called the prince of the power of the air, symbolizing his grip on the world's corrupt systems. Later Christians even reinterpreted pagan gods like Pan as devilish figures. Muslim concept. In Islam, the devil is known as Iblis, a jinn made from smokeless fire who defied God's command to bow to Adam. Claiming superiority, he was cast out but granted the ability to tempt humans as a test of their faith. Unlike Christianity, Iblis doesn't rule hell. His power lies in whispering doubts and desires that lead people away from God. The term shayateen refers to these unseen forces of mischief and spiritual corruption. Some Islamic traditions describe devils as creatures of fire that corrupt the soul. In Sufi thought, the devil symbolizes the ego, the inner eye that draws people from the divine. Salafi views often link disbelief to the influence of shaitan, yet mainstream Islamic theology insists evil holds no true power of its own, only God is supreme. Satanic concept. In Satanism, there are two main views of the devil. Theistic Satanists see him as a real spiritual being, a symbol of rebellion, knowledge, and personal freedom. Some associate him with pre-Christian figures like Lucifer, Pan, or even the Egyptian god Set. For them, Satan is not evil but a guide toward self-empowerment. On the other hand, atheistic Satanists, like those in LaVeyan Satanism or the Satanic Temple, view Satan not as a literal entity but as a symbol of human nature, defiance, and individual will. They reject religious dogma and embrace values like indulgence, reason, and pride. The Satanic Temple, in particular, uses Satan as an icon of justice and resistance against oppressive systems. For both branches, Satan represents the freedom to question, to rebel, and to shape one's own path, whether as myth or metaphor. Jewish concept. Judaism traditionally doesn't portray the devil as a cosmic enemy opposing God. Early Jewish thought sees Yahweh as the author of both good and evil, leaving little room for a separate adversary. The Hebrew word Satan means accuser or opponent, and appears mostly as a role rather than a personal being, like in the Book of Job, where Satan tests human faith with God's permission. Most Jewish interpretations treat Satan as a metaphor for human inclination toward wrongdoing or as an agent carrying out divine will. Jewish mysticism or Kabbalah refers to Satan as Samael, linked to a demonic realm with Lilith as a consort. However, even here, Satan isn't a purely evil independent force, but part of a complex spiritual order. Tangri concept. In Tangriism, Eric is a devil-like ruler of the underworld, embodying a balance of good and evil within the cosmic order. According to myth, Eric was the first human who helped the god Ulgan create the earth by shaping it with primordial mud. However, some of this mud became corrupt inside him, so God forced Eric to spit it out, creating swamps, deserts, and wastelands, places marked by deceit and evil. As punishment, Eric was banished to rule over these dark lands. Tengriism views death not as an end, but a transition to the invisible world. Eric and his sons, sometimes portrayed as 9 judges of the underworld, enslave the souls of the wicked. Thus, the underworld is a realm where balance between good and evil is maintained. Slavic concept. In Slavic mythology, Chobo, meaning black god, is a dark, devil-like figure, often associated with misfortune, corruption, and the harshness of winter and night. He is viewed as the opposite of Bobok, the white god symbolizing purity and goodness. Although details about Chobo are scarce, his name was used as a curse in Old Slavic languages to describe extreme negativity. Scholars debate whether Chobo was once a real deity or simply a symbol of bad fate. With the spread of Christianity, pagan gods like Chobo were reinterpreted as embodiments of the Christian devil, blending older myths with new religious beliefs. Whether Chobo truly existed or is mainly a symbolic figure remains uncertain. Manichaean concept. Manichaeism, an ancient religion from Iran, is built around a strict dualism between good and evil. The god of light rules a realm completely separate from the devil, known as the Prince of Darkness, similar to the Persian figure Ahriman. The world was created when darkness attacked light, mixing their elements and trapping humans in a blend of good and evil. Humans carry particles of both forces, caught between these cosmic powers. Eventually, the Prince's darkness and his dark forces will be sealed away, restoring the balance and ensuring that light and darkness never mingle again. This dualistic struggle deeply influenced later Abrahamic ideas of Satan. Buddhist concept. Buddhism doesn't have a direct equivalent to the devil, but Mara acts as a devil-like figure. He is a malignant celestial being, embodying desire, darkness, death, and illusion. Mara's role is to obstruct spiritual progress and enlightenment. According to tradition, Mara tried to distract the Buddha from attaining enlightenment by sending his celestial army and tempting him with visions of beautiful women, often described as his daughters. Mara symbolizes the internal forces that hinder growth: lust, fear, hesitation, and delusion. In both literal and psychological terms, Mara is seen as a barrier to awakening. Buddhist art often shows the Buddha defying Mara's influence, representing the triumph over inner obstacles. In Sri Lankan tradition, Mara is even depicted as a giant black elephant named Giri Mayala. Zoroastrian concept. Zoroastrianism centers on a cosmic dualism between good and evil. The supreme god, Ahura Mazda, represents light and goodness, while Angra Mainyu, also called Ahriman, embodies darkness, chaos, and destruction. These two forces are locked in an eternal battle, shaping the fate of the world. However, evil is not eternal. Angra Mainyu will ultimately be defeated at the end of time. This worldview deeply influenced later Abrahamic religion's concepts of Satan, portraying evil as a powerful but temporary adversary rather than an all-powerful force. Angra Mainyu's association with suffering and destruction reflects the ongoing struggle between order and chaos, light and darkness, that defines much of Zoroastrian theology. Ancient Egyptian concept. In ancient Egyptian mythology, while not devils in the modern sense, gods like Set and Apep serve as antagonistic forces. Apep is a serpent symbolizing cosmic chaos, darkness, and disorder. He battles Ra, the sun god, attempting to block the sunrise each day by lurking in the western mountains. Set is the god of storms, violence, and chaos. He murdered his brother Osiris to seize power and later fought Osiris's son Horus for dominance. Despite his dark traits, Set also helped Ra repel Apep during the sun's nightly journey through the underworld. Together, these figures represent forces of chaos opposing order and light, embodying the tension between creation and destruction, fundamental to Egyptian cosmology. Gnostic concept. In Gnosticism, the demiurge, known by names like Yaldabaoth or Saklas, is seen as a flawed, tyrannical creator of the physical world, distinct from the true, higher God. The material world is viewed as inherently corrupt and evil, governed by this inferior being. Some Gnostic sects, such as the Cainites and Marianites, even revere the serpent from the Garden of Eden as a hero who brought forbidden knowledge, opposing the demiurge's oppressive rule. This view contrasts sharply with mainstream Abrahamic religions, portraying the Creator God as imperfect or malevolent and elevating knowledge and enlightenment as the path to escape material bondage. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Comment please if you like it, subscribe, and see you.